Okay, so hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Today we're looking at writing introductions for IELTS writing task 2. All of your introductions are going to be made up of 2 parts. What are the 2 parts? What all introductions should have? Hello, Mary, welcome to the session. And Bila says, yeah, we want to paraphrase. And Camila says, yeah, we want to give our ideas. Exactly. So to anyone who's watching this on YouTube, you probably can't see the chat. I have a chat box here. So I will be chatting with students here and getting their feedback. So yeah, paraphrasing the outline statement. Does anyone know what outline statements are sometimes called? If you see them in writing books. Not a topic sentence. Nabila, yeah, thesis statement. So sometimes you might see if you are reading writing books that an outline statement is also known as a thesis statement, but the idea is exactly the same. So don't get worried about terminology. Paraphrases. So most important thing here is you have to have exactly the same meaning as the question statement. Good paraphrases, you're not only changing the words, you want to change the sentence structure as well. So we're going to have a look at that. That means we can leave out some words, as long as we're not changing the meaning. And the most common mistake students make is they try to use synonyms that they don't fully understand. Never take risks with your vocabulary, as any of my students probably know already. The other thing I've noticed, sometimes you get really long question statements in your IELTS writing too. So you'll get a couple of sentences and students often only paraphrase the first sentence. Remember, you've got to paraphrase everything. So don't just go, oh, that looks like it's really long. If it's really long, it's unfortunate, but you do have to paraphrase everything. So that's a really important thing to note. Then with the outline statement, this is you're outlining your ideas, you're going to talk about it in the essay, and you want to think of it as an index. So it's really, really essential to have a good outline statement because of your coherence and cohesion score. So what you want to be doing is you outline your ideas in your introduction, then you're going to outline them again in each of your topic sentences of your main body paragraphs, and then you're going to summarize them again. And then you have a lot of cohesion throughout your essay, and that is something you actually get marked on. So this is today's question, everyone. This is one I posted in our Facebook group. I would recommend writing it down because we're going to refer to this. I'll put it in the chat. Can you just give me, just write done or okay in the chat once you finish writing this down? And then I'll know everyone is ready to move on. Thank you, Nabila. Excellent, thank you, Mary. Camila. Excellent, thank you, Manpreet. Thank you, Tamara. How are you doing, Tamara? Welcome to the session. Excellent, thank you, Lucy. Sahar, good job. Okay, I'm going to paste it one more time in the chat, so if anyone who's not finished copying it, you can have a look at the chat. Also, I'm going to try and keep it down in speaker notes here. So today, we're not actually looking at question analysis and idea generation today. So I'm going to use some ideas that we've already had, but it is really important when we're writing an introduction to understand the type of question. So obviously, we've got a number of different types of questions in IELTS task 2. What type of question is this? Okay, so Manpreet says discussion, Vita says discussion, yeah. So let's be say discussion, exactly. This is a discussion. Sometimes you're going to see in the question it says discuss both views. This time it says discuss these attitudes and give your opinion. What does it mean by give your opinion in this particular question? So Jolanta says, yeah, our view. So in this instance, it means which one of these, basically what type of person are you? Are you a person who likes to try new things? Or are you a person that prefers to keep doing things that they are familiar with? So when it's giving you, says give you your opinion, that's what you want to do. So usually I would say with discussion essays, this is a slightly different discussion essay than we would usually see. Because Camino said, yeah, the view you agree with. So both of these are facts, but which type of person are you is really what it's asking here. So now we know that we've got a discussion essay. So we're going to have a look at our structure first. Paraphrase is always a paraphrase, but the outline statement, what goes into our outline statement? What things are we outlining them? People have already said, okay, so ideas. How many ideas do we have to mention? Excellent, yeah, 2 ideas. And we already said about opinion. So we want an idea for both views. So quickly, if we go back here, just to explain to people at home what I mean here. So here it says some people like to try new things. For example, places to visit. So we're going to explain one idea why these people like to try new things. There's other people prefer to keep doing the same things they're familiar with. So we need to explain one idea why these people do that. A mistake that I often see is people go, okay, I agree with the first part, and I'm just going to give 2 ideas for this. You need to explain both of these views. Why do some people like to try new things? And why do other people prefer to keep doing this? And then we're going to give our opinion, which type of person are you? Are you a person that likes to try new things or a person who prefers doing things they're familiar with? So the very, very first part, as we mentioned already, is paraphrasing. So this is going to be up to you. Like I said before, what we want to do when we're paraphrasing is changing sentence structure and keeping the meaning exactly the same. So how's, don't actually write the paraphrase yet. How's one way we could just change the sentence structure of this? Camino says, yeah, change the order, exactly. So rather than talking about some people like to try new things first, we can talk about some people prefer to do things they're familiar with first, and then put the other one afterwards. So that's a really easy way of switching it around. How many sentences do we have at the moment? 2. Could we change that? Could we change that grammatical structure? So at the moment, we have what we would call 2 simple sentences. So Camino says, yeah, we can make it into 1. So if we make it into 1, what do we call it when we're joining two simple sentences? Yeah, we start making complex and compound sentences, exactly. And we can use conjunctions like while or whilst, or whereas, or something like that to join these 2. So that's another really good way of changing the sentence structure. So we've already mentioned 2 things now, which would be really nice, that we can change the order, change the sentence structure, and we haven't even thought about synonyms. So that's a really nice way of paraphrasing so far. Do we need to include all of the information that's here? Mary says no. And Camila says yes. Manpreet says no. What information could we maybe omit? Yeah, Mary and Manpreet both say examples are not required. So here, yeah, if we remove the example, we still have exactly the same meaning. It's just without the example. So we could maybe be looking at this, looking at this. Okay. Then let's have a look at some common synonyms. So some, synonym for some. Great, Mary. Yeah, certain. Or a number of. Can I use many as a synonym for some? No. So some and many are very different. These are words that are very often going to come up in your paraphrases. So make sure we're clear that they are very, very different. People. What's a very easy synonym for people? Running community, yeah, individuals. New things. Different things, yep. Different activities, new activities. Throw that in there. So, like I said, I would say for the example, we don't need to. We can paraphrase the example, but we don't need to. So other people prefer to keep doing things they're familiar with. What could we use here? Do things they already know, okay. Doing the same activities over and over, okay. Nice. Doing things they're used to, okay. So here we've got some nice ideas. So going back to finding synonyms, do I need to find a synonym for every single word in a paraphrase? No, absolutely not. We don't need to do that. Don't sit there going, oh, I need to find a synonym. What do we do if we can't think of a synonym for a word? Yeah, repeat it. It's absolutely fine to repeat words. I think far too many students are obsessed with finding synonyms over and over again. So yeah, repeat it. That's absolutely fine. Remember, the important thing, if we can change the sentence structure like we talked about in the first place, we don't actually need as many synonyms because your paraphrase is already going to look very, very different. So these are some ideas at the beginning. So I'm going to throw it over to you guys in the chat. Can you write me a paraphrase for this question statement? Okay. So I'm just going to make a bit of room here so we can read your paraphrases. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at these four first, and then we'll have a look at anyone else's who I've not looked at after that. Don't panic, don't try and write overly quickly. So we will get to everyone's. So let's look at this first one. It is argued that certain individuals prefer doing things they are used to, whereas others like to try different activities. Do we think this is an effective paraphrase? Does it have the same meaning? Camila says good. Yeah, Camila says yes, Mary says yes. Completely agree. I think it's really nice. So we're doing all the things we just mentioned. We've changed the order. We've turned this into a complex sentence, which is really nice. Nice variety of synonyms. Kept it simple, not taking any risks with the language here. So this person is using words and expressions they understand. And yeah, we've got a very effective paraphrase. A great job. Right, I'm just going to make room. So let's have a look at the next one. So a number of people prefer to experience different activities while others keep doing the same activities over and over. So what do we think? Tamara says good, and Nabila says good. Bina was asking about this expression over and over again. Yeah, over and over again is a perfectly okay expression here. Oh, you mean whether I should put the again afterwards? So I see. Both are fine. So a number of people prefer to experience different activities. Yeah. So yeah, all grammar, all vocabulary, really good. Again, nice change of structure. Mary says, wow, it's easier now to paraphrase in just seconds. Excellent. So yeah, and this is all we're doing. So the first thing, rather than, I think, what students have a tendency of doing is they go, okay, synonyms. It seems to be the very first thing on everyone's mind when paraphrasing. Sentence structure should be the first thing on your mind when paraphrasing. How do I change the sentence? Once you start changing the sentence, then it becomes much easier to alter everything else in there. So really good job. Nabila says, can I come with you to the exam? I'd love to. I don't think the examiner would allow that. Okay, now let's have a look at this one. Some individuals prefer to do different activities, while others like to do things they already know. So what do we think about this? I mean, this is good. This is good. Yep. Again, are you guys doing really well? You see, just from a couple of little tips, suddenly writing excellent paraphrases. So great job, well done. So another one, really no problems. Have a look at this one. So some individuals like to try different activities, while others prefer doing things they are used to. So really good paraphrase, only one really minor. Nabila, yeah. Remember punctuation. So take your time. Even when you're writing text messages, you know, you're using WhatsApp, try and get into the habit of putting all the punctuation in. Because if you do that, you start to notice little things. And it just means that when you're in your exam, you don't make tiny little mistakes. Okay. But apart from that, it's a really good paraphrase. And so great job to the student. Okay, we had a few people that I hadn't looked at before. So one from Jolanda. whose paraphrases I hadn't looked at, and they want me to. Okay, let's have this one to start with. So a number of individuals try to explore different things, like visiting new places and trying different cuisine, while others keep doing the things they feel comfortable with. Okay, so again, overall, really nice. We've got a nice a change of structure, which is really good. Well, a couple of, there's a plural error and a punctuation error. Lucy, yeah, cuisines. We can count cuisine because cuisines are different. So when we see this word different, always remember different is normally talking about more than one thing because they're going to be different. So this should be a plural noun, and then just at the end we have that full stop. Here I would also maybe put in a like. So it's not really saying they try, but here the meaning is they like to try. So what could we do to make this a little bit more accurate? I mean, we could either just use the initial like. Yeah, we could use like prefer. A number of individuals prefer to try. I see why. So try to explore. So I think this would be slightly better language here. I prefer to try different things. But I'll just keep doing things if I can. And now this one works. Okay. So just a slight slip on the vocabulary, but still generally a very good paraphrase. Let's have a look at this. Some like to try different activities, while others prefer to continue doing the same activities over and over. So what do we think of this one? Yeah, good. Again, no issues. You guys have really picked this up very quickly. Mary says, can we say different things such as? Yep, different things such as would definitely work in. Was there anyone else that we've not looked at? No, okay, so I assume I've looked at all of your paraphrases. So another thing I just wanted to point out, why is paraphrasing so important? Going to show a range of vocabulary. Yeah, but Maverick's got it. Yeah, it's the first impression that the examiner gets of what you're reading. And trust me, as an examiner, when I'm reading essays and you've got hundreds of essays to get through in a day, and the paraphrase starts off terribly, I'm not thinking I'm going to be giving good grades to the rest of the essay. So when I see, oh, it's a good paraphrase, it puts the examiner in a good mood, they're in that mood of, I want to give you good scores. So like that paraphrase is your first expression. And as Sahar says, it shows you understand the question. And that's the whole reason you are asked to paraphrase, is it indicates that you are very clear about what the question is asking. If you're clear about what the question is asking, it's more likely you are to give relevant ideas when you're answering it, because you obviously understand the question. So that's really important. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the outline statement. As I said, we're not generating ideas today. I'm taking a couple of ideas which were generated in the Facebook group from a question I posted there. So idea one is bored of doing the same thing. So they like to try new things because they're bored of doing the same things. And idea two is they prefer doing things they're familiar with because they're scared of doing new things. So these are the ideas we're going to go with. How are we going to, Mary was saying, is this it recorded? Yes, we are recording. How are we going to turn this into a outline statement? So how many, do I need to write just one sentence? Can I have two sentences? So both are fine. You don't have to fit your two ideas and your opinion into two sentences, but if you can put them into one and you're comfortable doing it, then put them into one. I think one looks quite nice. So actually, I'm just going to throw it over to my students here and see what you guys can do. And then we'll have a look at some structures that you're using to put these ideas. And remember, the outline statement also needs to mention our opinion. So in this case, it's going to be, what type of person are you? Okay, here we go. Give everyone a little bit of time to write their sentences. Actually, let's have a look at these two because they so hard. Excellent. Okay, so we've got three here, and let's see what we think. So although people like to explore as they are bored, so here we need some extra vocabulary of explore. So to explore means they like to look around. So we can use this explore, but we need it with an object. So what will come after explore? New things, exactly. Although people like to explore new things as they are bored doing the same thing, I believe that some are scared of trying new things. So is this effective, or is it missing anything? Jolanda said things. Yeah, they're bored of doing the same things. Okay. So let's say, so we said we need an idea for both of the views and our opinion. And one part of this is really a little bit trickier here. We've definitely got the first idea that people like to explore new things as they're bored of doing the same things. Okay, so idea one is very clearly given. I believe some are scared of trying new things. So we've tried here. So we've definitely got a second idea. So we've definitely got 2 points of view. But what is our opinion here? What is the opinion that we need to give? Because the opinion, what looks like the opinion is here. You're saying some people are scared of trying new things, but we know we've already had that stated. This is not an opinion of, so we can't say, okay, I agree some people are scared of trying new things, or I believe that some like to keep doing things they're familiar with. Both of these are facts. So we can't agree that one or the other happens. Yeah, Sahar says, we need to explain which type we are. So we can't just use this believe structure. So that's, is this Jolanta's? So Jolanta, which one of these are you? Are you a person who likes to try new things? Or are you scared of trying new things? The second, okay, brilliant. So although people like to explore new things as they're bored doing the same thing, so we could maybe put this in. I, like other people, I'm scared of trying new things. And this would then show our opinion here. Okay. Camila says, do we need to give a reason for each or only for the one you support? We need to give a reason for each. So we need to give, for any discussion essay, you have to give a reason why each group of people think that. So we have to explain why some people like to try new things, why some people prefer to keep doing things they're familiar with. And then on top of that, we need to say, in this instance, is more of a case of what type of person are you? You can't really say, I agree that people believe this, because both are true. Jolanta said, why should I not write I believe? So if you write I believe, it's like trying to say that you only think that one of these is true, but they're both statements of facts. Some people do like to try new things. You can't say that I believe people like to do what they're familiar with and they don't like to try new things, because both of these types of people exist. So trying to say that, oh, I only believe in one, doesn't work. It's a slightly different discussion essay to what you are probably used to. A lot of these are like, okay, some people think this is the best and other people think that is the best. And then it's, you're agreeing, okay, I believe. And when you write I believe, it shows that you agree that something is the best, or like one method is a better solution. But here we can't really just write I believe, because it's not actually expressing an opinion. Your opinion needs to be what type of person you. So if we have this, the type of person you are, makes sense. So let's have a look here. Mary said, should we avoid believe? In this essay, I would say yes. this isn't a case for all discussion essays. You just, like any IELTS question, you need to analyze the specific question you're looking at. This one is slightly different. I noticed this after I'd given it you, but it's good. You've got to always be checking, okay, my opinion, what is my opinion? I can't just go, okay, I agree with a fact, because that doesn't really make sense. So Manfred was, yeah, analyze the question a bit more deeply. So let's have a look at this one. Although some people do not like to try new things because they are scared of new experiences. Okay, so very clear idea. I believe that other people who prefer new things, other people, here we don't need this who. So it's just simply, I believe that other people prefer new things because they get bored with doing the same things. So what do we think about this one? Everyone's saying good, but it has exactly the same problem as the previous one. We're not giving our opinion. We're saying, I believe this is true. Well, of course it's true. They're both statements of fact. The I believe doesn't make any sense here whatsoever. So again, we can have I like other people. Prefer new things because they get bored with doing the same things. Or I prefer, yeah. Maybe we could have something a bit simpler. Okay. Now our opinion is clear. The idea for the first one is clear. And the idea for the second one is clear. Okay, so this is what we want to be doing in this particular question. So you've got to deeply analyze the question, make sure your opinion is clear here. Okay. So the basis, your general basis is really good, but just make sure you're analyzing the question and fully understand what it's asking of you. So Har says there's a lack of verb after I prefer. You can prefer an object, so that's absolutely fine. You don't need a verb here. It's optional. Where do we go? So let's have a look at the next one. So although having new experience can make people scared, I think that people who try new things have a passionate life and avoid getting bored. So what do we think about this one? So yeah, same problem. So whoever wrote this, try rewriting it and putting in that idea that I just mentioned. So let's have a look at some new ones. We've got some new topic sentences. Outline statements, which you guys hopefully altered a bit. So there. Okay, let's have a look at these three. So although some individuals like to do things they already know because they are afraid of changes. Yep. Here, slightly more natural expression is afraid of change. Grammatically, the afraid of changes works, but this is a more natural collocation. They're afraid of change. I prefer trying new things because people get bored of doing the same things. Okay, what do we think about this one? Yeah, this one's much better. Here, maybe I prefer trying new things because people get bored. I might put I get bored. The references are just a little bit more cohesive. But apart from that, much better. Your opinion now is really, really clear. The reason for your opinion for both of these ideas is clear. This is a much better outline statement. So we have all parts, the two main ideas, and our opinion. Okay, so let's have a look at our next one. Although other people like to explore different activities because they're bored, I opt for some are frightened of experimenting new things as they do not want to go outside their comfort zone. Okay, so the first part really clear. Other people like to explore different activities that they're bored. I opt for some. This doesn't work. What could we use as slightly clearer vocabulary here? So I prefer frightening. So I think we're not liking this. Okay, this is how I'm going to change this. I am frightened. Experimenting new things. Experimenting needs a preposition. What is the experiment? What is the preposition that goes with experimenting? Nope, not of. You experiment. Vanessa, excellent. Yeah, experiment with. Good job. So I'm frightened of experimenting with these things. As remember, you are the subject. I do not want to go outside my comfort zone. So here, now we've got two clear ideas. Some people like to explore different activities. Okay, idea one, very clear. I am frightened of experimenting with new things as I do not want to go outside my comfort zone. You are with this other group of people and you're giving a clear idea. So again, good outline statement. So let's have a look at our third one here. So while there are stereotypes who are scared to do. Normally when we have scared, it's scared of, and it's followed by an ing, yeah. So this is a common convocation, and we have a gerund after this. So while there are stereotypes who are scared of doing new things, this essay believes that more individuals desire to discover new findings. Oh, so I think the findings is a little bit awkward here. What could we? You're not really discovering. Yeah, I think because we're talking about doing, so doing and discovering are not really the same thing. So I'm just going to keep it simple. Desire to do new. Normally, if we have experiences, so I'm going to use have. Now, this student has approached this slightly differently. But let's see if it's good or not. So, and stereotypes here, I think, what would be a better word than stereotype? So people, we already had people, so what was a nice synonym for people? I can learn to type. Right. So we've got this at the moment. I think it's rare. Don't take so many risks with your vocabulary. Keep it simple. So while there are individuals who are scared of doing these things, this essay believes that more individuals desire to have new experiences. So now, first part is good. The idea here is really good. We have individuals are scared of doing these things. Okay. Others desire to have new experiences, so we've outlined this. And it says this essay believes there are more individuals. So are all the points covered in this? So Camila says there's no opinion, but there is an opinion. There is an opinion that more individuals desire to have it. So rather than looking at it the way that I personally looked at it, I looked at it and said, okay, well, what's my opinion? Which one do I agree with? This person has gone, okay, well, my opinion is there's more people who are like this. So it's a different way of expressing an opinion, but perfectly valid. So I think this is a really, really nice way of doing it. So Hasa says, no reason for the second idea. Okay, more individuals desire to have new experiences. Oh, good point. Okay, so throwing this back over to Ria. What would be our reason? Why do more individuals desire to have new experiences? Well pointed out, Sahar. You don't want to get bored. Yeah. So we can all see this. Okay. Scared of doing new things, that's definitely an idea. They don't want to get bored, second idea. And we've got more, so we've got an opinion. So good job. Okay. So tomorrow, let's have a look at this one. So although some people are scared of doing these things, good. I, like others, believe that doing the same activities all the time is boring. Okay. So what do we think here? And here, see if I'm going to have this like others, I think we should have these comments here. So scared of doing new things, this is definitely a reason. Doing the same activities all the time is boring. So all the time is boring, so we have here an idea. And opinion. I, like others, believe this. So we've got all three parts. We've got idea one, idea two, and opinion. So good job. Tomorrow. Helen asks, why do we state the two attitudes and write our opinion separately? I mean, why we combine our opinion with one side? So this is what I mentioned at the beginning, Hanan, that if you wanted to, you could state the two other opinions or the two attitudes, and then you could have a completely separate sentence going, I agree with the second group of people, or I am one of the second group. So that's another way of doing it. If you wanted to separate it, you certainly could. And that's why I said, do what you are comfortable with grammar. If it's easier for you to write it in two different sentences, write it in two different sentences. There's no law in IELTS that says you must have X amount of sentences. So that's definitely a way you could do it. Okay. In Mane, let's have a look briefly here. Okay, so although some individuals get panicked when they try new things, I prefer to try various things to get out of my daily routine. Okay. So the ideas are there, it's just language, and this is one that we need to work with. So although some individuals get panic, is not an expression in English. Does anyone know what it is? It's not informal, it's just panic and get don't go together. So we could say get scared. How would I use panic? What type of word is panic? Mary, yes, it's a verb. So, structure of an English sentence. Subject, verb, object. So we've got subject, but here we've got two verbs. So how do we fix this? Get is not an auxiliary verb. Yep, excellent, Camila. We get rid of the get. Okay, so although some individuals panic, so subject, verb, object, when they try new things, I prefer to try various things to get out of my daily routine. Yeah, get anxious, Mary, is fine. What type of word is anxious? Adjective. So with adjectives, you need a word to go with them. But with a verb, we're not putting another word to go with them unless it's an auxiliary verb, which would either express the passive voice or maybe like a different verb tense. So you maybe use have to show a perfect tense or a modal verb. But get, don't put get with other verbs because get will never go with another verb because we don't put two main verbs together in English. Doesn't make sense. Okay, so although some individuals panic when they try new things, I prefer to try various things to get out of my daily routine. Good. Something sounds a little bit repetitive. What sounds a little bit repetitive in this? Okay, so we're repeating try and we're repeating something else. Things, and things is one of those words that if we possibly can, we want to avoid it because it's just really vague. So words like things and stuff is very, very vague. And if we can possibly find a different word, that is one word I would always try and find a synonym for. So Sahar said activities. Yeah, so this is going to make it sound a little bit better. Although some individuals panic when they try new things, I prefer to try various activities to get out of my daily routine. So the second we change that, the try doesn't sound so repetitive. If the word thing that was very repetitive. Experiences could also work. So once again, let's put experiences here and just get rid of things altogether. And then our vocabulary is a little bit more specific and not this really kind of vague thing stuff. So although some individuals panic when they try new experiences, I prefer to try various activities to get out of my daily routine. Okay, now we've got that. Two very clear ideas. Opinion is really nice. Good outline statement. Okay. So I think I've gone through most people's outline statements and paraphrases here. Does anyone in the chat have any questions? Oh, we've got one more from Mary. Let's have a look. Okay. So while some individuals are frightened of experimenting with new things, good. I prefer of exploring various activities as this broadens my horizons. Okay, we don't I prefer of, so this is just not a prepositional collocation. Okay. I prefer exploring various activities as this broadens my horizons. Okay. Apart from that, so let's have a look. Viewpoint one, some individuals are frightened. Okay, that's a good idea. I prefer exploring activities as it broadens my horizons. We're giving a reason. Excellent. Okay. So, Nabila says, can we use this essay believes to give our opinion? Good question. So, an essay is a thing. Can an essay believe? No, not really. I see it written like this essay agrees, this essay believes. It sounds a lot better for you just to write I agree or I believe. It's asking, remember, it does say give your opinion. So usually we want to avoid writing in the first person. We don't like in academic writing talking about I this and you that. That's generally not good academic writing. But if you're asked for your opinion, well, your opinion is yours. So I believe is absolutely fine when giving your opinion. So yeah, I would personally recommend getting out of that habit of talking about essays believe and essays agree with, because essays don't really agree or believe. So much better to use your personal pronoun of I believe or I think. Okay. So that is all we have time for today. If anyone has any questions, anyone here in the lesson, come along into the Facebook group. Anyone watching this on YouTube, please leave them in the comments, or if you want to practice and try writing an introduction, you could write that there. What else? Yes, this is recorded. I will put it onto the YouTube channel as soon as it is ready. Thank you all. I'll also add this to the Facebook group. Great to see you all, and thank you very much for coming. Thanks for watching, anyone who watched, and catch you next time.